What's going on, YouTube? I am HotMessNessMua, otherwise known as Vanessa, and today's video is going to be all of my single eyeshadows. I started a collection series. I started with my eyeshadow palettes, and then I did blushes, and then I kind of, I did lipsticks, liquid lipsticks. And I kind of stopped short because when I was going to do my single eyeshadows, I realized, I got some new Devinah, and they're all in separate palettes because, you know, when you have a separate collection, you want to show it, you don't want to put it all together, and then you realize, oh, this is over here, that's over there. Well, I did a little organizing, and so we're going to scooch in, not see my face, and we're going to look at palettes. I'm not going to swatch every single thing. I'm just going to show you guys. I feel like I have to show the collection before I can move on with more series on single eyeshadows. I feel like I have a lot of singles, and I love them. They're some of my favorite things in my collection. Yet so often I gravitate toward buying palettes, and that's because palettes are curated. So I kind of want to go into a series with you guys showing how to curate some palettes, things that I like to do together, and some ideas I have for curated single palettes. So look forward to that in the future. That'll be ongoing, and I'll just make sure, you know, it'll end up in its own playlist. It'll be like all about singles, or how to curate some singles, how to dupe palettes, because sometimes it's not about duping the exact color, but more so a color story. So anyway, let's go on to the singles. I'm gonna bring you down, and we're gonna look at single eyeshadows, and I'll swatch some of them, but not all of them. Hello? And we are starting the single eyeshadow collection. I don't know if I've done a video quite like this before, where I go through all of my singles, but I'm doing this because I want to start doing more curated type palettes. So I thought, you know, why not show you guys all the singles that I currently have. This is 2019, and some things I'm sure I will begin to declutter, but we start here and then we can move on. So this very first palette, it's my Makeup Forever palette, and these are all Give Me Glow eyeshadows. And this is before they reformulated. These are some of the most pigmented mattes I've ever used, but in my experience, they weren't great at blending. They weren't amazing at the blend, and they tend to, I could only use like so many colors, which would be kind of odd for neutral kind of mattes. Like you should be able to build, and these ones were just a little bit more difficult, but their shimmers, I mean, look at, it's crazy, but they kind of had a subculture-y kind of vibe to me, where you'd blend and you'd get a little bit of the rim, or the colors would all start to look similar. But I really want to order from them again and see how things have changed, if they have changed, because a lot of people scream about their palettes, but their shimmers are off the charts. And these are older shades, guys. Like, these were from the beauty boxes that Give Me Glow used to do. Just beautiful shimmers. Kind of remind me of Juvia's Place. They've got that pick up the foil kind of thing. So, oops, try not to hit the light. So these are all of my Give Me Glows. I'm not going to swatch all of them, but later on, if anybody has requests for things, because a lot of these things I'm sure are discontinued at this point. But if we do come across a collection that you want to see all of them swatched, let me know. I do have some previously, and I will pop those in the cards as we go. So all of my Give Me Glows right here. Hands are looking pretty messy right now, but these are my Saucebox single eyeshadows. I have to tell you, Saucebox was kind of popping for a minute when Samantha Ravindal was Battleash, and she had a palette with them. Their Etude palette is the one palette that I always make sure I bring on set with me when I am doing any kind of work. It's the Perfect Neutral palette. And these are some of their more colorful shades. One of the things that I like about their palettes is they pop out very easily. So if you are a single eyeshadow lover, their curated palettes can move into this direction. And I now have an affiliate code with them. if you guys want. All of my affiliates are left down below, but these are just some of the older palettes that have been depotted and some singles. This was the Autumn Goddess, I believe, and then there was Sweet Temptations and Forbidden Fruits. Just, they were really, really good products. And then here's some more of their singles. This was the Equinox collection, and then these were shimmers, very beautiful as well. I can't remember the name, but I believe these are all singles now. And these are old shadows. Like, I've had these for quite a few years and they're still beautiful. So Saucebox is good quality. I just think they need to be careful with how they label things. You can't call everything limited edition and have it come back. We got one more, hold on. These are going to come out of here. I just have not found enough homes because these are large palettes, large singles. But this is the Mermaid Life palette. There was some beautiful shades in here and there was some duds to me for the price point. But now I believe all of these are sold as singles or in bundles. So if there's any of the shades here that you'd be interested in, you could always check out Saucebox. But again, another formula that isn't spoken about a lot, but tried and true, especially the mattes, but the shimmers are quite beautiful too. So there's my Saucebox. Now this particular palette is an older one that Devinah used to do, their Custom Pro palette. It was just a great, cheaper palette. I think that the shipping was ridiculous for them because they're, you know, an indie brand. But in this palette are tons of either duplicates. I'm pretty sure every single shade in here I already have a duplicate of, or I put it aside when I got a breakage or something and needed a replacement, and yet I'm too much of a cheesehead to dump. So we've got some Devinah, some Looxi. I think that's pretty much it, is Devinah and Looxi. Like, I have 2 La Di Das. I might even have 3 because it's one of my favorite single purple shades. This is from Looxi. And I know they're reformulating and whatnot with labs in mind. So some of these shades will probably make their comebacks soon. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes with the single eyeshadows, I feel like I need a spreadsheet because I'm like, oh, I don't think I have that one. And then it turns out I have 2 or even 3. So this is my standalone place for things that I have duplicates of. These are all very well-known sugar pill shades that are going to make their homes here. Here we have my Colourpop palettes. Some are curated and some I filled up on my own. So in here are just some randoms along with the pigments. They're not all done in color stories. Like this one, I think, was all new shades, so I just picked it up as is. This one was another one that was new. And then you'll see that every time I go onto Colourpop and buy shades, I buy very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if I have duplicates somewhere over here. So the next time that there's like a single eyeshadow thing with Colourpop, I definitely need to go through and see which ones I have before I go in and buy more. And then I also have the new pressed glitters, which I love these. I absolutely love these. Anytime I need a little something, I grab this little palette. As far as the mattes, I'm really enjoying the Colourpop mattes. I have some major gaps here. You can see you know my tones. It's like, if it's pinky, mauvey kind of tones, I grab for it. If they have a purple, I grab for it. But are these, like, which ones are the same? I don't even know. So Colourpop, I fell in love with their palettes this year and recently have been getting more into their singles. But I definitely need to figure out what I have before I order more. Now, and these little babies are all Juvia's Place. I got on a kick and I decided I wanted to depot my Juvia's Place, which I don't know was a good idea. I hurt some of these shadows. I hurt them badly. I was not kind. I mean, all these digs and stuff, you would think it'd be easier to depot some of these. I thought I would use them more having them as singles, and I don't. I reach for my Juvia's Place palettes all the time, and I rarely reach for these. So I won't be depotting any of my other Juvia's Place at this time. I do love them, but I don't know. I need to get more use out of these. These right here were part of a collaboration with Coffee Break with Danny. They were really cool little toppers. I can't remember the name of this company. I know they do singles, but these were really inspiring, fun little topper shades. I know I have this shade time and time and time again, but it was a fun collab to support, and they ended up here in the Juvia's Place singles graveyard. Yeah, I know. Some amazing colors. We have the, what is this? The original Masquerade palette is in here on top of the one that was the cool tone blues and the greens. Not the Magic. What was that one called? I can't remember, but I'll leave it down below. Now these are one double-sided palette, another regular Z palette. This one's a large, and then this is another double-sided here of Sydney Grace. Now the way that these originally became curated was based on collections. They've done quite a few bundles in time, and so that's why these ones aren't necessarily done color-coded, although I'd like to do that. But when you're going back and forth, when a collection comes back out or they're promoting something, sometimes it's nice to keep it all together. Right over here was like a winter bundle. And so during that time, it was easier to access it and keep it together. Now, again, you can see the color stories that I love so much. Look at all, like who ever needs another pinky brown eyeshadow ever again? And I buy them no matter what, because they look good. They make my eyes look good. So I need to definitely reorganize my Sydney Grace. I did a swatch video of 167 Sydney Grace shades because they were having a Christmas in July sale, and I wanted to help anybody that wanted to look at different shadows and options. They're gonna be doing that again this year. It's gonna be toward the end of July. So let me know if you guys want an updated version of that, because they have definitely expanded. Like this right here is some older ones. I think we have the new summer shades are all right here. This one has the dupes for Subculture, and then they had a collab with a YouTuber. This one over here had, who else was this? Just other bundles that they've done, and I've just kind of mishmashed them in there. Their pressed pigments are just a flippin' dream, are they not? Oh my goodness, look at this. Does it not want you to you just want to play? You just want to play, for sure. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And then, where are these ones from? Gosh, my brain, it's my brain. These greeny blue ones, they had a dupe for the No Joke. So I believe this was the No Joke bundle over here. You had some really fun greens. Oh my goodness. Just crazy good stuff. Sydney Grace is just a bomb company that no drama, great eyeshadows. People with all different kinds of skin tones can use these because they're super pigmented. I love them. So we have a double-sided here. I showed you this one was the double-sided as well. And this one's just a big Sephora one. And these ones are more curated because they came out with new shades. It was like all named after like officer type shades. And then we had the green extensions and some summer colors and whatnot. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys want updated swatches on any of my favorite indie brands, and we can work on that. Now these are my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I started going in a color direction. These are the pigments that they came out with. They reminded me very much of my Viseart pigments, the bright kind of colors, and more regular, you know, colorful shades. And then I have some neutrally kind of tones, and then I got lazy because I had curated a palette and I just shoved them in there. And another one from Makeup Geek, some oldies but goodies, you know. Oh, no, that's an Anastasia. I think it just fit in here better. Creme Brulee, you know, the famous kind of shades. Cherry Cola, beautiful, fun. I still use them, but I'm currently I'm in my feelings right now about Makeup Geek and some of the stuff that's been going on in the beauty community. Maybe I will have to do a video, but then you might think I'm a drama channel. So these are some of the foiled eyeshadows. Where are all my foiled eyeshadows? What in the hell? Wait, I got one more. Hold on. There's got to be another one. This is not it. Okay, these are my Makeup Geek shimmers. These are my Makeup Geek foiled shades. So these were like some of the very first, very emollient looking shades. The only problem is that so many other brands have come out with these, and these are old as hell, right? But so many other brands, I got lights showing in places that I shouldn't, maybe we can crop. Okay, so many other brands have come out with stuff like this at a cheaper price point, and Makeup Geek hasn't really followed suit. So I have some loves, things that I won't get rid of until it actually starts to turn. But these are the Makeup Geek. So shimmers, foileds, mattes, and more colorful mattes. This is a really cool palette, actually. I like how they did this one. Still can't get beyond the squares. We could have known it was a pressed pigment and it didn't have to be a square. We still would have been okay, you know? So, Makeup Geek. This is kind of embarrassing, isn't it? I have loved Looxi before Looxi loved me. Looxi Beauty is one of my favorite indies. They have transitioned over. So some of these things you can't get right now. I have this palette right now of all the things that I know for sure you can get from Looxi. Like these are their current mattes, and these are the older mattes. So new mattes, older mattes. And I'm sure eventually some of these bad boys will make their way into the permanent lineup. So older ones, I have repurchased some of these. You saw that the other palette that had extras. That's because some of these I love very dearly. And if you haven't seen one of my very first videos on Looxi and how we built a relationship, it's literally because I asked about shadows, she didn't make any more, and she found them for me. Her customer service was out of control. And even later on, when she opens up her vault, I had a request for this particular shade, right? No, it wasn't this one. There was a shade I wanted, and she made it. It was Bitter. Bitter is the shade that she made. She no longer made it anymore, and I asked for that as a request when she opened up her vault. Where is Bitter? It's not spiced. If I find it, I will show you. But I love these mattes. They were a little bit fragile. Some of them broke easier than others, and that was part of the transition to over here. So these are my neutrals from Looxi. Then I started getting a little more creative with my matching together by tones. So I started to go, you know, my purples and blues and into my greens here from Looxi. And then the rest, for the most part, okay, besides what she currently has in her line, which would be right here. I didn't have room for these shimmers, but these are the current mattes that I believe you can get on the site, and some of her very brand new shimmer shades that are new, and her new Precious Metals 3 in here as well. But here's the oldies and goodies. We're talking multiple collections. I'm telling you, when I told you I didn't miss a collection, I said I didn't miss a collection. So I tried to get them in tonage, and then obviously I skipped a beat over here. So these are a lot of the pinky foiled. Some of them are auroras, so they have like duochrome. Some of them are precious metals, so they give you that wet formula, that absolutely dripping wet kind of look. Some of them have glitter in them. They're just, and all of these are very similar, but Vanessa had to have them all. That's how I am with Looxi. I don't miss it. So there's those. And then we get into a little more color. These are my golds and yellows to greens. And my deeper purples into reds. I mean, some of these are just so much fun. That's how you know you're a makeup like addict. I think that this definitely dupes one of the ones that I showed you from Makeup Geek, and I believe they're now $4 or $5. I don't know if this is an Aurora or not. Which one is this? Ruby Rain. I mean, these are just, I'm gonna just keep saying it. I love them. I love them so much. And here's my more blues to greens, and then I ended up plugging in some purples. Let's just grab a blue here. Oh, snap. Which one is this? This is Tipsy. Some really beautiful ones, and some of these are still available on the site. Looxi had a birthday sale, and they had 4 special shades just for the birthday, and these are them. I didn't know if I should do a video on them or not because I didn't know how long they lasted. I think it was like while supplies last, but I'm really, really impressed with these two. This pinky purple one has glitter in it, and this blue one looks just like the one from the Jouer palette, only it doesn't have the black base. So it's so pretty. I really hope she makes this one. This is Confetti. I've had this swatch up on my Instagram for a hot minute, but I hope she makes this one permanent. But they're all just really fun shades. Now we're getting into Devinah. She came out with these like limited edition type palettes, and this holds a butt ton of eyeshadows. I recently went through and I was doing like little curated palettes for myself, and I need to reorganize these by color. But again, it's one of those things when you're an affiliate with a brand, sometimes you want to keep things together for context, especially if it's a bundle. So I need to go through and take these all out and reorganize them so I get a better color story. But these are my mattes. And then I have a couple shimmer palettes. These are Devinah shimmers that are just regular shimmers in the line, and then some of these are the new multi-chromes that were really special because they didn't have that black base. So they're just fun, really pretty, just interesting colors, and it's such a good price point. I love these. These two right here were from the Butterfly collection, so they weren't a PR thing. I purchased them, and that's like that with a lot of these things. If I don't get a collection, I usually end up buying it anyway. And then these are just some singles from Devinah that I purchased over time. You can see that I went heavy with the reds, and then I went heavy with regular blues and actually purchased multiples, and then end up setting them aside because you put your hand in them and realize, damn it, I have this eyeshadow. Now these are my Devinah glitters. She had 2 different kinds of pressed glitters. These ones had a slippery kind of base to them, but very much a topper. Very, very much a topper type shade. And I think that these were a lot of fun. They had these in a really pretty special little palette, and you could just take them on top of a glitter glue and pat them in, or use them however you so see fit. And then she came out with these glitters. Now these, they feel just like glitter. Like literally a little bit of that sandy feeling of glitter, but very, very opaque. And you do absolutely need a base for these because it's straight up glitter. But I love the way these look on top of a look. Like I want her to come out with a red glitter. Look at this one. So I love the Devinah glitters. They're pressed ones. I mean, look at the shift in this. Is that not crazy good? Oh, I just drool. I love them. I love glitter. Glitter ends up everywhere, all over my face. I wake up the next morning looking like I was working at the strip club instead of what I do. No shade to strippers. So these were another collection before Devinah started doing her harmony collections that were based on color stories, like the pink icing or their blue betch dupe. They had a series of these bad boys. Now these are much bigger than these. So these collections were a little pricey. I believe it came in 9s, 369s. And some of these are just fantastic shades. Most of them are all some kind of a duochrome, and they were named after bad girls. It was like the Dirty Beautiful collection, right? So like you had Sadie, and then the sheen on these, you could use it as a highlighter or build it up, just depending on which ones. And then some of them were after the beach. So like this one is Hermosa, and then the tone on this one, just beautiful. Again, they're really big pans, so they were a little bit pricier, but it was a really beautiful formula. And they kind of went in 9s and had a theme. So you had the Dirty Beautiful, some of them were the wicked girls' names, and some of them were the beach, and it was just super cool. And then this one came in one of the sets, Paradise, just really cool. Love these. I break them out often. Sometimes I build looks based on these shadows alone. And this right here is what Devinah is really like making makeup super exciting, right? These are the shifters that came, the Willy Wonka inspired ones, and they kind of came on light, right? They're just real chill, but then if you wet them, they became something else, and if you used them on top of something, they're just cool. They're topper shades essentially, but then they're just something. There's just something really special about these. It's hard to pick up on camera, but once you use them on the eyes, it's just like, what? And then these ones were the Galaxy Dust shifters. So they had the same kind of formula. You could use them as a topper, but they had crazy shift. Look at, oh, your finger doesn't bend that way, dummy. Let me grab one more. I think this one is one of my favorites. It's just super fun stuff, you know, and she's making makeup so fun, making me want to build looks based on these shades. I love them so much. Some of my favorite things that I've gotten this year. I think I had one more over here. These are just some randoms. This is a Suva Beauty. This one is a Strobe Cosmetic Shadow. And then I just popped in, this is a Devinah highlighter. I loved using this one on my daughter when she was doing competition, because, ooh, brow bone, when you want a glittery brow bone, so much fun. And these were just some blushes randomly from Sydney Grace. So that is all of my singles. So from here, what can we expect? We can expect Vanessa to be doing some curated palettes for sure, because I'm really realizing how much I have and how much I can dupe. And even if it's a general color story. So it's like I can use a palette for inspiration to dig from my own collection. So let me know if there's a palette out there on the market right now that you want to see duped. Maybe not color for color, but color story for color story. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do have playlists showing a lot of Sydney Grace. I swatched like 167 last year. I have a lot of Looxi. So I'll make sure that I pop those playlists down below in the comments if you want to see them all swatched. Anything to do with those things. But I do have like a Devinah playlist. I have a Sydney Grace playlist. This was just to show you guys all the singles before we start curating. I hope you enjoyed watching. I do have affiliate codes with some of the indies, so I'll make sure I leave that down below. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Forget you can subscribe down here, and for more videos, click over here. Possibly there. There's places to click. Click them all.